When people think of Australian film icons, their minds might wander to the likes of Nicole and Hugh and Heath. But for the past 3 decades, one figure has been not only producing some of the finest, most successful films of all time, but has worked as a tireless ambassador for Australian cinema and talent. His films are more than blockbusters. They're events. They are fantastic on-screen extravaganzas that invite audiences to not only forget their worries, but they get to see the world through his eyes for just a couple of hours and forget that their worries exist. And given the times that we live in, that is a talent that simply cannot be underestimated. It is my profound privilege tonight to present the GQ Film Icon Award in association with Audi to Baz Luhrmann.
Icon Award, right? Actually, Austin, thank you for your beautiful words. Really, I wasn't expecting it. But actually, speaking of icons, I know an icon that maybe you should play. Just think about that. Got that in my mind. Also, Livia, I got an idea for you as well. Hey, I have to say, I'm genuinely really, really honored and touched, and I gotta say a big shout out really to Mike and Edwina and the whole GQ gang. And this night's been quite epic, bit like one of those little movies I make, But I was thinking about what it really means. And Sam and I and my kids, we've been living in New York, and we've just come back to Australia to make this movie, and we're in Queensland. And I was thinking about icon. I looked it up. It means like to reflect. And I'm thinking about reflecting, and as I was flying into the city, reflecting and looking at the smoke, I was reflecting on this country. And you know how in this place on the edge of the world that when we were young, this country looked out for us, and this country looked out and helped us, and God, we never had to ask for dinner, or we never, if we were going forward, the previous generation said, gee, we should have a film school. That's absolutely important. We must have an opera house. But for that, or a National Institute of Dramatic Art, but for that, we wouldn't really be here. The previous generation looked out for us. So I was reflecting upon that. And quick short story about, I was thinking about how that's really important for us, because I guess being icon means you're the older generation. So you should be looking out for the younger generation. And we have some kids, younger generation. And quick story, we're living on a very nice house on the river. And I took my son, he's been living in New York, he thinks he's a New Yorker, Dad, I'm a New Yorker. I don't know why he speaks like George Burns, like he's 14 years old. And he also doesn't have a cigar. I don't know why I do that when I do my 14. Dad, really. But he does actually sound like that. Anyway, I put a crab pot in the river. And I took Will down, and I said, come on, Will, we'll go down and see if we've got a crab pot. First time, the crab was there, then he was gone. He went, Dad, we flew too close to the sun, right? A bit arrogant about the crabs. We go down the second time, and we're on our way down to the crab pot. We're being attacked by the plovers because they've got chicks. And then and a crab is in the pot. And he goes, great. So we put the crab in, and we go past the cane toad and the spider. And we get up to the kitchen, and he goes, Dad, I have an existential dilemma about eating this crab, And I go, well, what is that? He said, well, it's like a living thing. I said, well, you eat food, that comes from the supermarket. It's living. I said, do you want to go full vegan? He said, I'm not ready to do that, And as I was flying in this morning, seeing the smoke, I just was reminded, it's been coming so present to me, just how beautiful this country really is. And when you grow up with it, you don't realize it. And it is so beautiful. And it is so rich, and it is so precious. And I think to myself that it's so important to put politics aside and to really realize what a precious, precious place this land is. And so if I've got a job to reflect, it's to reflect on, it's our job to make sure that should my son get over his existential crisis to eat crabs out of a river, that there are still crabs in the river. So I hope that I can express how honoured I am for the award, and also how I've been reminded just what an incredible country we have here. Thank you. Now, I also did a movie. It has a song in it called A Little Party Never Killed Nobody. So after the next award, I'll see you at the A Little